It's really funny how this system here has become absolutely indispensable for us over the last couple of months. This was our introduction to deionized water. So this is a system called the PureWash Alto. Essentially, it's a 10 litre deioniser system, and we've got it hooked up to a Karcher pressure washer here, straight water coming in from the hose, and this has changed the game in terms of when we're able to wash. So you're able to see the sun hitting me right now. This is typically not a time we'd be able to wash cars, but what this system's done is it's allowed us to basically take control back of when we want to wash the car. We can wash in full sun, we can wash in half sun, shady weather, evenings, mornings, midday, it doesn't matter anymore because of the system here. And at under $500 as well, for the freedom it's given us, like, money well worth spending. So we've already made a dedicated video on the system. We'll put that up in the corner right now if you want to check it out. But today, it's a beautiful day, January the 2nd. We thought we would wash the Tesla, just put this through its paces again and just talk about some of the things that we've learned. Now we've had some hands-on experience and probably used this for about 20 washes. We checked the reading of the water before we started. We run about 20 to 21 parts per million out of the tap. This is still reading at 0 after 20 washes. So we're still producing complete spot-free water. One of the decisions that we've made with this system as well is we just go DI water for everything. So we're filling our buckets with DI, we're doing our first rinse down with DI, we're doing the foaming process with DI, and then the final rinse down as well. I mean, if you had harsher water, you could probably just isolate it and maybe just do your final rinse down with DI, but given that we've got some reasonable water quality coming into the system and we're getting some good longevity out of it, we've just decided let's just go full DI.
Especially at 20 washes so far.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
People get concerned that, oh, I've got to replace the resin every, couple of washes or so. But I mean, we're at 20.
Yeah.
We estimated roughly we'll get 50.
I think we're probably well on track.
For the price of this being at $500,
yeah,
I reckon that's great car insurance.
Oh yeah, you're not
for you
potentially
to damage your paint. So yeah. I would just go buy one.
Just go full DI. We've even done wheels, so we've done that just before we started filming. DI on the wheels, which I think where you're going to like that is if you have gloss black wheels, you're not going to develop those water spots. So yeah, with the new range, you probably could have done.
Yeah, well, I washed the Range Rover yesterday, sunny like this.
Yeah.
And I almost got to my finals rinse, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not even going to dry this. I'm just going to pull it in.
Yeah.
But then I felt it feels a little bit wrong, so I put B-Maker on it just to, make
just to make you feel happy.
But yeah, you could just pull this car in right now, and just leave it, and you'll be sweet as.
Well, not right now. It's dirty as, but yeah, getting the point. One of the great things about this as well is typically if we ever had to do a wash during the middle of the day, and that would be with a client's car more often than not, because we would just choose not to wash it this time, we would be absolutely rushing through the stage. I couldn't muck around, we couldn't make videos during the day. There's no way I'll be letting this water sit on the vehicle for this long. But with this, we can just take our time, which is nice, because if that dries, well, so be it. It's not going to dry and damage.
It allows you to enjoy the wash process, if you like getting all the gear out.
Yeah,
and just taking it easy and really being meticulous on how you wash.
Especially on a big car, like this is not too bad. Your Subi's fine, you can get around that, but if you're washing the Range Rover or a big SUV or a ute,
I struggle. I absolutely struggle. So I have to rush really quickly or I have to be in the shade and I'm stressing the whole time. I hate it, and if you hate doing something, you're probably not likely to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get one of these, you can enjoy it, enjoy the process, and you're free to wash whenever you like, which is so nice.
One of the things that I wasn't sure about with the system as well is if it could cope with the foam cannon, because you know how sometimes if you're lacking a bit of pressure, you just don't get good foam consistency. This thing's putting out 10 litres a minute through the machine, and we get no problems.
And your pressure washer's not putting out that
it's not. So it's
plenty of headroom.
That.
Yeah, plenty of headroom.
Because I mean, look at the foam consistency. Like there's no stuttering or anything on there. Like
no, it's totally fine. Oh, I need soap on here, don't I?
You need some soap. Well, you don't really. There's plenty of soap on here, right?
Do you just want to wash this side?
Yeah. Let me just do the roof.
So I guess if you're really concerned that maybe this wasn't dual purpose, you've washed the whole house with that thing, haven't you?
Yeah. So if you organise like a house cleaning company to come around and do like your house wash or your window wash, they'll come with a system similar to this. I mean,
check it out.
oh, sorry, Pat, was that me?
Yes.
PureWash actually sell like really specific commercial high-end machines as well for you know, commercial purposes for house
And that's
cleaning.
where this business really started, wasn't it? House washing, cleaning windows.
Yeah, I think so. And then this is just an adaptation for like the auto world, because you don't need, you know, huge tanks or anything, or the built-in ability to run multiple hoses off it. Although, great thing about this system, and I think if we were to configure this again, I would option 2 outlets on it. So you've got obviously your inlet, your water coming through from your household tap, but you can option it with multiple outlet taps. So the benefit there in a car washing environment, especially if you're using DI water for everything, is that you can have your pressure washer hooked up, and then you can also fill your buckets without needing to unhook it.
Yeah, that would be so key right now.
And I think it's relatively cheap, like we're talking like $30 maybe for each additional connection. So I'd put 2 on there if I was to build one. Again, it's just funny how it became so indispensable so quickly. Like,
yeah, so I borrowed it over the Christmas period, and I can't wash without it now.
Yeah, it was hard to bring it back.
Yeah, it's hard to bring it back, and so we're just gonna have to borrow between 2 houses now.
Well, I think once you've started washing with something like this and you get the benefits out of it, you just cannot go back. Absolutely not.
And so washing the windows, you know, like around that black trim and stuff.
Yeah.
I suppose you get no water spots.
Well, this is really bad on the Tesla.
No, on the house.
Oh, on the house, no, you don't get anything on the, you don't get anything at all on the aluminium joinery. And the nice thing is that you can just rinse off the window, and you don't necessarily need to dry it. Like, it's good to dry it, but if you don't, you generally will get streak-free, spot-free finish.
That's nice. So imagine that with like a bit of, what is it, 30 seconds window that they have.
That in combination.
So that window product with that.
With DI.
And I guess that tank, the tank is actually a really good size for one to manage, right? You can pick that up. It's not really that heavy. You can move it around. They do come with trolleys if you're going to get those bigger tanks, but I think that size is absolutely fine. And we've proven that it's enough to run a business off and wash multiple cars regularly.
Oh yeah.
Consistently all the time, then that's definitely enough.
Absolutely, and it's portable enough that you can carry it around if you're washing your house to different windows. You know, it's a bit of a pain when we're having to transport this between the 2 houses, but it's doable. Like, you can fit that in the back seat of the car. I don't know how you've been transporting it. I just kind of strap it in the back seat, just so it doesn't fly around anywhere.
Yeah, I just put it in the footwell and push the seat forward on it.
Oh yeah, jam it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great system. There's just no way we could ever wash right now. We would have to be waiting probably another 2
7
hours.
o'clock.
Yeah. Have you done this back door?
Yeah. That whole side's all done.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine not having it now.
PureWash sell it on a cart as well.
Yeah, that would be if you had the bigger tanks, I reckon.
Yeah.
Can you get 2 tanks on one cart, or just 1 tank on one cart?
I think they make carts specific to different products. So you can buy like a cart for the Alto 10, which would be quite nice if you are lugging it around a lot. But when it's set up in the garage here, we just have it set up next to the pressure washer, and we're just pulling it outside. So it's quite nice to not have the extra bulkiness of a cart. But to know that there's the option there to buy one, I think it's quite nice.
And it's also got a bit of a wetsuit jacket too, which is a new addition that they brought out. So underneath the canister is actually a bright blue type colour. It's like a woven material. And then it's just a nice PureWash branded.
I think the material is quite nice for transporting into the car, because you can
It gives a bit of protection.
Yeah.
And it's got a little pocket on the front. I suppose you put your TDS meter and other little bits and pieces. Maybe you could have like your pressure washer attachments, like the little nozzle that we have that could go on the front there.
So we're probably 20 washes in plus some reasonable time cleaning windows on this house, and we're still reading 0 on that meter. So I think we're just gonna have to come back again with another video and update on how long we actually got out of this with our 2021 reading on our water. What's the water reading at your place where you've been using it?
It's exactly the same as yours.
Okay, about 20. So that must be the supply here.
Yeah.
Tauranga must be around that 20. Because what I'm really keen to know is, I know that it's reasonably economical, but I want to quantify it at $1 per wash.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be a good stat, but we're not going to know that until we blow through this.
No, and then we're going to probably overestimate the dollar per wash as well, because we won't factor in the house washing.
No, yeah, okay. Yeah, because you can't really quantify how many cars you washed when you're washing the house.
No.
Yeah.
Front end is so dirty, eh?
Alright.
You pick up a lot of bugs on this car.
Well, it's just all bumper, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're picking them up on the WRX and the Range Rover, but they're just going
Straight through
into the into the intercooler and the radiator and yaps that will never be seen again. It's all right. This car will be dirty again tomorrow when we go to the beach.
Ooh.
I love summer in New Zealand, eh?
So we've already sort of talked about this a couple of times, but this step is the most important step.
And I think if you were only using DI water for one part of your wash,
It's here.
right now is when you want to be doing it. Your final rinse down, because theoretically you could rinse this off right now, walk away, and this will dry spot free. We typically apply bead maker, but it's not a necessary after this, or it's not a necessary to dry your car after this part of the process.
And that's why I say this is the most important step to prevent you from getting water spots. This is where it'll happen, most likely.
Yep.
Is that people will rinse their car down. They would have had soap already dry on there and they'll have soap scum everywhere, but they'll rinse this down, they'll leave it outside or they'll park it back in the garage and they'll leave it and they go, yep, cool, clean the car in the sunshine, how cool was that? And they'll do that for months on end, years on end, and then the customer brings the car to Omni Garage and says, help, I need to get rid of all my water spots. And that's when we spent hours upon hours, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours, trying to remove those water spots in similar conditions that that was used to create them. And so this is why we stress so much that this is the most important step, that you want to be using DI water, or you want to make sure that you quickly rinse your car, pull into the garage and dry it off.
So we've done the final rinse down of the car, and at this point you could back this in the garage or you could leave it in the driveway to dry. We're not going to do that today. We're going to use the Ego blower, blow this car off so we can apply some bead maker.
And the whole point of that is that bead maker adds a little bit of gloss, a very small amount of protection, a couple of weeks or so, especially on a car like this that's got nothing on it. The best part about bead maker is it makes the paint feel so good, and we basically love the effects of bead maker, so that's why we're going to do it. But you at home, you could probably pull this in, leave it, call it a day and go and have a beer. But we're not. We love to do things a little bit differently.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll keep you guys posted as we live with this PureWash machine a bit longer. I'd love to come back and let you know exactly how many washes we get out of it, and then try and work out $1 per wash. It's going to vary depending on where you are around the country, because
and also how hard your water is. Yeah.
Exactly, the water quality is definitely going to have some impacts on that. But I mean, we'll continue to share the knowledge as we learn it. So we'll get on with this, crack on, dry it, bead maker, and then maybe time for a beer. So. Yep. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.